So here I am, my business is called The Effective Marketing Company, it's a branding event, so I'm going to talk to you now about branding, and actually I've put this presentation together for you especially today. I haven't done this presentation before, and I thought quite long and hard about a title for it. I was trying to work, branding in a really clever way. What I've gone with is, does my business look big in this? Is it alright?
Yeah.
I think it's alright. Okay, cool. Well, I've come this morning with a bit of an argument. I always come with a bit of an argument. And it seems to me that you want brand, you clearly want brand because you turned up at 7 o'clock, 7:30 this morning to come to this event and you're interested in the content, which is brand. And it seems to me that you want brand because you want people to want to work for you. Does that make sense? That's a good reason for wanting brand. If you have brand, you can sell anything, I'm going to argue. Does that make sense? I can't be leaving you behind on the second bullet point. So I made this more interesting and exciting for you. Shall I? I need to say, I can't believe I'm doing this on bullet point number 2. There's not many bullet points in this whole presentation. There are lots of pictures. Okay? So what I'd like you to do, if what I'm saying isn't really that exciting, what I'd like you to do is count the pictures. And the person at the end who can tell me how many pictures there are will win a seat at one of my seminars to the value of £99. But actually the thing that you need to get excited about this morning is actually the brand. So if you have brand, you can sell anything. If you have brand, your sales will be easier. If you have brand, you can charge more. If you have brand, you will have stronger customer relationships. And if you have brand, you will increase the value of your business. That is what your business is worth. And actually, brand is incredibly cost effective. Incredibly cost effective. So these are my 7 stand-up reasons about why you should want brand. Do we want brand already? Yes. We do? Okay, well let's see if we can get more excited about that. So the first thing we need to do is we need to work out what brand is. Do we know what brand is? Image, identity, all of those things. Well, I found this definition, and I want you to believe this definition. So what I've done is I've popped a little Wikipedia logo up there. Okay? So this is the one that I want you to believe. So basically, what we're saying is a brand is the personality of a product, service or company, and how it relates to key constituencies. Customers, staff, partners, investors, etc. Some people distinguish the psychological aspect of a brand from the experiential aspect. The experiential aspect consists of the sum of all points of contact with the brand and is known as the brand experience. The psychological aspect, sometimes referred to as the brand image, is a symbolic construct created within the minds of people and consists of all the information and expectations associated with a product or service. Wasn't that long when I read it, when I put the slide together, but that makes it much clearer now, doesn't it, about what brand is? Does it not? You see, for me, I think it's all in this last sentence. It's basically, it's a symbolic construct, we can forget that, created within the minds of people. It consists of all the information and expectations associated with a product or service or company. So it's the stuff that people have in their heads about your product, your service, or your company. And what it is really is that little bit of trust that you get with people, where they come to rely on you. And that, for me, is what brand is. So, you want brand, reason number 1, because you want to have people wanting to work for you. Now, I don't know if you guys are big recruitment drives at the moment, not many people are, but Seth Godin, who I'm a huge fan of, tells us that one of the key objectives for our business should be to get people wanting to work for us. And I think that's really interesting. And actually really wanting to work for us, not sitting at a desk taking a salary, because that's probably employment. I'm talking about people actually wanting to work for us. So here's an example I had recently. We ran a recruitment project for Solutions Inc. I don't know if you know those guys. They're down in Brighton. They're the 3rd largest Mac supplier in the country. We ran a recruitment ad. I run recruitment ads quite a lot. We get 10 or 20 usable CVs. When we ran recruitment ads for Solutions, we got 20, 40, 60 CVs. And they were all good, usable people. We had to interview 30 of them, and any of those 30 people could have done the job. The reason for that is because Solutions have name and brand in Brighton. When I used to work in recruitment proper, it was famous when we were placing PAs in Worthing for 35, 40 grand a year, that Richard Branson's PA was working for £12,000 a year. Why? Because she wanted to work for him. And Apple, there's a little bit of an Apple theme running through this morning, I'm afraid. I'm also a screaming advocate of Apple. But have you been to an Apple store?
Yeah.
You have. I'm quite up on energy and positive vibrations and all this stuff. But when you run into one of these Apple stores and you speak to the people, they're so enthusiastic, it makes me want to stick one on them. They're bouncing up and down, telling us how we can do this fantastic thing. I was there with my mother, trying to buy her like a laptop case for Christmas, and while she was buying something else, and the guy was jumping up and down, you don't have to queue, you don't have to queue, I can take the money right here. So it's that I'm talking about. It's that I'm talking about, where you have people who actually physically want to work for you and are motivated to actually work for you. And brand gives you that. So, reason number 2, you want brand because if you can have brand, you can sell absolutely anything. Does that make sense to us? Yeah, if you've got that little bit of trust. Well, I've got 4 examples for you. And the first one is Apple. This is part 2 of the Apple thing. So you may know Apple because they sell computers, and it makes sense then because they sell computers that they also sell the software, although that's not necessarily the model. But then what happened is they decided to go into the portable media market, and they developed the iPod. And then what happened is they had to develop the iStore so that they could sell us music, videos, podcasts, and TV programs. That was a departure for a computer program, a computer company. And then they went into the iTouch business, and then they could sell us games. And then they went into the phone business, and then they could sell us applications. And then they brought out the iPad, and now they can sell us books. So what's happened recently is that Apple have actually taken over Microsoft in terms, they haven't taken them over, that would be a lovely day for them, but they have overtaken them in terms of turnover, not because of the computers that they sell, because they still only provide less than 10% of the desktop computers in America, but because of all of this stuff that they sell. So what they've done is they've leveraged their brand, and they've sold lots of different things, and they now are bigger in terms of turnover than Microsoft. So that's example number 1. Example number 2 is Tesco's. We all know about Tesco's. Does everyone know about Tesco's? Because Tesco's sell groceries, don't they? But they also sell PC, photo and gaming equipment. They also sell sports and leisure equipment, garden equipment including sheds, home and bath equipment, baby and toddler equipment including prams. They sell clothing and jewellery. They sell sound and vision, toys and gifts. They sell furniture and kitchen furniture, DIY and car stuff, phones, entertainment and books. They sell us finance. And in case you don't want to buy their finance, they have now got a comparison website. So they will sell your business leads if you are selling financial services. So there's another example of Tesco taking over the world with their brand, because they have brand, they leverage that brand, they can sell us absolutely anything. Are we happy with this? But you're going to tell me these are big brands, you're not happy. Someone not happy? Okay, good. We'll move on. But you're telling me these are good brands, big brands, they can do whatever they like, in fact. So I want to tell you about this guy called Dave. You might remember Dave. Does anyone remember Dave? He started off and he was quite good at football. But actually what happened is he went on to be the most incredible salesperson in the world ever. And what happened first, because he was always interested in his hair, so it made sense that he sold Brill cream. So that's where he started. And then what happened is his team was selling mobile phone networks with Vodafone, so he also got into that a little bit. And then he got into selling sunglasses and selling brown sugary drinks. And then obviously it makes sense that he sells sports kit because he's a sports person. And then he went on to sell underpants. And then he went on to sell, because obviously he had experience of mobile phones, so he went to work for Motorola selling their handsets. Then he started, actually this was much earlier, there's no way he did that with a razor, that would absolutely hurt. But he went on to sell shaving equipment. Now he sells Herbalife, so he can sell you stuff for your dietary requirements. And actually, if there isn't a corporation in the wings waiting to pay him millions of pounds to sell something, him and his missus will knock up some aftershave. And they'll sell that. Because if you have brand, you can sell absolutely anything. But you're saying to me, he's an international sports star. Of course, you can slap whatever you like on him and it will sell. So let's look at this guy. We'll call this guy Richard. You know Richard? We know Richard? So Richard went into the record business and did quite well, and then he went into the record store, mega store business, did quite well. Bought himself an airline, did quite well. Went into the Coca-Cola business, didn't do so fantastically well. Went into the train business, struggled a little bit, but he's persevering with that. Went into the mobile phone business, everyone does. Went into the media business, and now he's in the space holidays business. And it's actually happening, because I checked this out yesterday, and actually people are going to be paying $20,000 a go to fly in one of his craft and visit space. So it's actually happening, which it says something about him. But all of this says something about brand. Now these are maybe the 9 famous things that happened, but there are actually 360 Virgin branded businesses. And they all do quite well. So, you can sell absolutely anything. Reason number 3, if you have brand, your sales will be easier. So, example number 1, McDonald's. McDonald's have never phoned me and said, Martin, can you come in and do some sales training with our guys? I don't know why they haven't. They absolutely haven't. And I ask this question a lot. Has anyone ever objected in McDonald's? Has anyone ever done any negotiation in McDonald's? You don't, do you? You stand in the queue, you get to the front, you ask for exactly what they want to sell you, and you pay exactly the price that they want you to pay. It's because they have brand. Mercedes-Benz. Does anyone drive a Mercedes-Benz? I don't know if this is still the case, but there was definitely a time in Mercedes-Benz's history where they would very famously say to people, if they ask for a discount, Mercedes-Benz do not offer discounts, but if you go to BMW, there's one just down the road, they will definitely help you with that. That's brand at work, making sales easier. And then the last one is Apple. This is my own personal experience of when I spoke to him, who's my now very good friend Leo, and I said to him, I've never spent £2,000 on a computer, Leo, you're going to have to give me some discount. And what he said to me is, what you need to remember, sir, is that this is a premium product. And I said, okay, I'll take it. Because it has brand and because it is a premium product. So brand makes your sales easier. So reason number, are we up to reason number 4? If you have brand, you can charge more. Do we get this? Do we understand this? You can charge more if you have brand. So I've got some examples for you. So we're going to play spot the difference. Okay, so if you can spot the difference, there's no prize necessarily. Yeah, you get arms and feet with this one. A little magnifying glass, but that's not the difference I'm looking for. You get a belt with these ones. I'm sorry? There is actually a person, yes, just not the hands and feet. Good spot. Great spot. But you don't get the person. Anyone else? The difference, of course, is in the price. Because the ones with the belt on the left-hand side will cost you £10, and the ones with the hands and the feet on the right-hand side will cost you £100, but you do not get the hands and feet. Why is that, do we think? Brand. Of course, it's because of the brand. Because these come from Asda, and these come from Levi's. So you pay 10 times as much for that brand. 10 times as much. Can you imagine paying 10 times as much? You'd have to have a good reason. You have to have a good reason. But the reason there is brand. So if you enjoy this game, we're going to go again. Spot the difference. Wimbledon season, so we're talking about strawberries. Of course, we're talking about strawberries. Yeah, they've got different brands. Well spotted. This is a brand event. So they've got different brands. So what do you think that does to the price? It makes a difference. Of course it makes a difference. So, and actually, these are the most expensive strawberries you can buy from these supermarkets. So Tesco's, you can pay $3.99 or £13.30 for a kilogram. Sainsbury's, you can pay $3.99 or £13.17 per kilogram. If you want to spend £13 for a kilogram of strawberries in Asda, it's tough luck, you can't. The most you can pay is £4.92, and that is because of brand, and that is because of positioning, because they put these prices on and they expect you to pay. So if you have brand, you can charge more. And here's the last example, spot the difference. So the first difference is brand. Okay, so we're doing much better at this. And so we can see there's different brands here. And what difference do we think that makes to the price? Quite a lot. So you can buy the Skoda for $14,225, nearly $17,000 for the Seat, 17 and a bit for the Golf, and $18,315 for the Audi. What's particularly interesting about this?
all owned by the same group?
They've all got exactly the same engine, they're owned by the same group. They are ostensibly the same car. The difference is the shape and the brand. It's interesting, isn't it? I think it's really, really interesting. And they've all got exactly the same engine, and they are all the entry level. So they are ostensibly the same car. You can pay £4,000 less if you're prepared to drive around in a Skoda. £4,000. I think that's a lot. Okay, so you want brand because I think we're up to reason number 5, because brand strengthens customer relationships. So what I'm going to do, just for you very quickly, is share some of my brand relationships. I'm a Manchester United fan. It's fantastic. So Manchester United brand in football I'm very interested in. I'm a keen photographer, and I've decided that I want to use Nikon as opposed to the other people who are for amateurs. I ride my mountain bike a great deal, and I ride a specialised mountain bike, so I do specialised mountain biking. I buy my jeans in Gap. I trust them to sell me jeans. I'm an Alfa Romeo fan, although at the moment I'm having to drive an Audi, which I can't get excited about. I'm a huge Apple fan, you may have guessed that already. I'm a barbecue fan, and my barbecue is from Weber, and I make amazing food on that. I buy my socks and my pants from Next. No, I don't. I buy those from Marks and Spencer's. I buy my shirts from Next. I buy sunglasses every 5 years from Ray-Ban. If we buy furniture, we typically go to IKEA, and my particular brand of dog is a Pooley. So it's interesting, you need to see that more close up. My dog, a Pooley, and here's a particular brand of dog. But it's interesting, if you sit down and think about it, we all have relationships with brands. We all have people that we trust, the people that we go to first to provide us with the thing that we're most interested in. And that makes brand relationships, customer relationships stronger. It absolutely does. Okay, so you want brand because I think we're up to reason number 6. Brand increases the value of your business. Now, there are lots of things that you could be achieving with marketing in your business. You could be picking up a sale or a lead, achieving profitability or income, developing new products, understanding your business, all sorts of things that you could be achieving with effective marketing. You could be taking charge of your business. How would that be if you actually knew what was going on in your business, you were in charge of it, instead of chasing around after it all the time? But the one thing that gets me excited is the idea of increasing the value of your business. That is making it so that somebody will come and write you a check and say, I will have that from you, thank you very much. That is the objective, or should be the objective, of all of your marketing. So, you will have a valuable business if people want to work for you, if you can sell absolutely anything, if your sales are easy, if you charge more and have higher profitability, and if you have strong customer relationships, your business will be valuable. Okay, you want brand because brand is incredibly cost effective, and there's a good reason for that. Oh, not the reason. Because was it £350,000 they paid for this logo? That's not the way to do brand. You can't go out and spend hundreds of thousands of pounds. That's not actually the way that it works, and you will get ripped off if you try to do that. Okay, so we're going to do another little spot the difference. We've had this before, we've done this already.
Brand.
Yes, it's different brands. Well done. Actually, different brands within the same business. So these car manufacturers are all part of the VW group. And this is an interesting piece of positioning for me, because if you want to spend £14,000 on a car, or $1 million on a car with a Bugatti Veyron, VW Group can sell it to you. That's interesting, isn't it? That's an interesting bit of positioning where they are occupying the entire breadth of the market. But surely there must be a cost benefit to having all of these brands, because how would you distinguish the A3 from the Skoda unless it was a different brand? How could you possibly explain to someone in the store, oh, but this one's £4,000 more because of what? So you have to differentiate them because of that. Which leads me to think that brand is actually cost effective. Certainly much more cost effective than setting up 7 or 8 completely different business. With 7 or 8 different cost centers, 7 or 8 different marketing teams, all of those things. So here's another little spot the difference. They're all the same, they're all part of the Dixon's group. Now there was a time in my life, before I was a Mac fan, where I would shop in Dixon's, PC World and Curry's, think that I'd done a good job of shopping around and buy the thing. I was the mug. You know, but it's interesting because it must be cost effective for them to run those 3 brands rather than running 3 separate businesses. Okay, so all you have to do if you want to develop your own brand is break it down in terms of names, fonts, logos, messages, values, positioning. All of these things are things that make up your brand, your service, your customer experience and your reputation. So, it's a buyer's market. You are about 20 minutes away from Brighton with 11,000 VAT registered businesses, a third of which reportedly are creative businesses. Brighton is absolutely a buyer's market if you want to be buying brand. But if you don't even want to be spending that much money, you can go to businesses like Local Yes. I did. I paid $60 for my tree 5 years ago. It's been fine. That's $12.50 a year. Logo Designs, Marvel Logo Designs, we do some work with them. Weebly if you want free websites. And Joomla if you want really free websites and you've got some skills. So you can do all this stuff for not very much money. And you need to break it down into its components. So, decide. Do you want your business to look like a tram? Do you want your business to look like a tram? No. Do you want...
Drinking a branded drink.
Brand absolutely works. Even when you're on your uppers, you will find the extra £4 for a branded beer. Do you want your business to look too stern? No. Not really, no. Do you want your business to look like a spiff? Not really, no. You probably want to look a little bit knowledgeable, a little bit friendly and approachable. And actually, I've thought about this long and hard over the last few days. Probably what you want is to have your business looking like Mary Poppins. Don't you think? Sort of cool and calm and in charge with a few natty ways of getting things done quickly. I really like that. Mary Poppins is my brand model, absolutely. Okay, so your messages are difficult, but I think if you can understand your value proposition, i.e. what can I do for you in less time and for less money than you can do for yourself. And it will typically be a way around saving people hassle, time and money, probably in that order. People don't really believe it if you tell them you're going to save them time and money, because, you know, who hasn't fallen for that one already? But if you can save people hassle, time and money, then you've got the basis of a good message. And then you need to make it accessible for them. So we'll offer you something to get you in and talking to us, like we might offer you a free consultation, for example. And the why is really important. People are talking about the why do you do things. I do things because I'm on a mission to help small businesses. Because I think businesses should take charge of their business. And if they understand marketing, then they can take charge of their business. That's my why. That's why I'm standing here in front of you this morning. That's why I'm running the Effective Marketing Company. And then the last one is how do they do it? So your call to action. Tell them, do this, and it will be happening. Do this and we'll be saving you time or money or hassle very, very quickly. Okay, and then the other thing, the other components are obviously your customer's experience. I'm not going to say much. You need to understand in 2010 that your customers are your key asset, your most valuable, your most important asset in your business. And what I say to people is take some of the money you invest in getting new customers and invest that in your existing customers, because, like I say, they are very, very important. And then associations. So here's some of my associations, here's some of my customers, and it starts to look like I'm in business, doesn't it, if I've done business with these people. And that's for free. Sometimes Sussex Enterprise will cost you £99 a year up until the 1st of August, and it's an absolute bargain. So you should join, definitely. Okay, and the key to brand is consistency. And the best people at that are McDonald's. Because McDonald's never said, we'll make you the best burger, we'll make you the most satisfying romantic meal. They never said that. What they said is you will get exactly what you expect every single time. So that's why we stand in the queue, and you know, the service is what it is and the food is what it is, and we don't complain because that's the expectation, because it's consistency. And consistency is absolutely free of charge. It's absolutely free of charge. So start thinking about having a font that everyone in your business uses. That's, you know, a great step towards getting a new brand. Okay, and then just be careful. I don't normally do the be careful stuff because I'm not a be careful sort of person, but brand can sometimes be incredibly expensive. And what you don't want to do is a Ratner. Do we know about Mr. Ratner? You do. Mr. Ratner used to run Ratner's. Before he said, we also do cut glass sherry decanters complete with 6 glasses on a silver plated tray that your butler can serve you drinks on, all for £4.95. People say, how can you sell this for such a low price? I say, because it's total crap. He went on to talk about his earrings, which are cheaper than an M&S prawn sandwich, but probably wouldn't last as long. And because his brand was one big unique thing, of course the whole thing just broke. The line between love and hate is very thin. And that cost him 500 million. Did he deserve it? I don't think he deserved it. Right, so if I've done my job, you are now wanting brand, because if you have brand, people will want to work for you. If you have brand, you can sell anything. If you have brand, your sales will be easier. If you have brand, you can charge more. Brand strengthens your customer relationships. Brand increases the value of your business. And brand is actually incredibly cost effective. So I'm hoping now that you're excited about brand. Are you excited?
Yes.
Good, because I've got nothing else. What we're going to do now is we're going to take 10 minutes to refresh our glasses. Or our teacups, more like it this time of the morning. And then we're going to hear from Duncan Smith, who is going to frazzle your minds. Thank you.